that. They have Doctor and the Magnus, so um, I still just don't like it. Stop, please.
Yeah. Well, BMG wants to win here, so giving themselves a shot to do so with picking up the deadlift. Cheese or not, they will take it here and try to make work with it happen. But yeah, exactly. I was just going to mention before you did there that honestly we haven't seen a lot of success with him lately, at least. So including earlier today, Sink dropping the second game against Evo Corporation despite running it there. So yeah, we'll see if BMG is able to make it work. I assume it's going to end up with Teltuk here. It seems like the jungle. That's kind of the interesting thing I found too. Again, we saw it initially like in 2 or 3 games where he was ran as a suicide slash aggressive pusher in a lane, and we saw tower kills at like a minute and a half, 2 minutes into the game. Yeah, we haven't seen that deadlift in a long time. It's actually been more of just the gank deadlift. So I want to see the push deadlift again, but I know we're probably not going to see it here. But
Yeah. I mean, even the second support deadlift, I'm pretty okay with. It still does very well in a tri lane. Just even if it's not the farmer, it still does well. So, yeah, but in the jungle, it's been relatively kind of meh. Just hasn't been a big factor because it does fall off, and no matter how much farm you give it, it still does fall off.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't. I'd like to see it in actually that second support role, but I have noticed that's been what's been picked against the lead or the deadlift a lot is the Legionnaire.
Yeah, we saw that earlier for Evo Corp, and now Sync going to be picking up. Like again, I think a little bit is that with all the minions there, I figure it's going to get a lot of spin procs. Could be powerful, and also maybe to protect others if they get jumped by that death grip, be able to jump in and kind of counter in. So Rhapsody, fairly quick response for BMG. So speaking of a little bit of push synergy there, has that Disco Inferno to assist, and maybe there's a little bit of thinking with that there, as well as just being a pretty good support hero, of course. Now the final pick for Sync, right clicking a Gunblade, but they do need a carry. I don't know if he plays a lot of Gunblade or not, but that's interesting if that's what they're thinking here.
Yeah, I mean, like we pointed out last time, it just gets disjointed by a Geometer's Bane, and it can be or not disjointed, but it can be dispelled. So, not my biggest, not the biggest fan of that hero anymore.
Well, they go Swiftblade right there. We got BMG now going to have a lot of time to think about their final pick. And again, speaking of, well, I guess they do have the Doctor for their carry presence. Figure deadlift in the jungle, so either the Suicide or the middle, depending on where they want to end up with Magnus here. I would guess they would want a Suicide hero. Something like a Lodestone is still on the board. He's a Suicide hero that does have a little bit of, or we have seen a bit actually, in that Suicide role, but they want more push, maybe something like a Balfagor. That could be fun. Balfagor deadlift. It's a lot of creeps running around. I can only imagine if the old Keeper was still here, too, with the deadlift.
Keeper, deadlift, Balfagor. Let's go. I don't think towers would survive longer than 4 seconds.
They would die quite fast there, so.
Assuming that's going to be Balthazar on the Doctor, so. Still a couple things they can actually do. Okay.
Okay, so they're going to go Pebbles here, which means probably going to be more of a Suicide Magnus. As there we go, Teltuk reading up on the deadlift, so again, that was the bit of an obvious there. All right, so yeah, they go Pebbles. Going to be a boxy Pebbles here. That would get a C. And
yeah,
interesting being a Riptide here on Sync side. Oh, Hacks are going to play Riptide, though. They swap it at the last second.
So they're giving Macera the Swift Blade. Interesting. Okay, so going to be a short lane Riptide, which I'm assuming they're going to leave him in a 1v1 because, I mean, it's Riptide. He can do very well in a 1v1, so. He could still potentially go mid, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know. Everyone's changing what they do today, and it's just confusing at this point.
You know, that is something. It's definitely, I think, a bit of mind games going on right here, and I wonder if BMG, seeing that last second swap and now who's playing what, it's, maybe they'll try to maybe adjust their lanes to perhaps man up even or something like that against the Riptide, figuring that they could work with that. But if that's the case, and I mean, right now, yeah, the Legion side, I mean, they haven't committed to anything just yet. They are going to kind of scout things out. We are going to see a little bit of exchanging going on here.
Oh, this could be.
Oh wow, yeah, BMG. They're going to cut off Legionnaire most likely. No, maybe not.
Yeah, don't think they're going to be able to catch him in any way, shape, or form. Oh, maybe now. Oh.
Oh,
What?
Slap's getting aggressive there.
Little
There we
confused
go.
by Celtic. I mean, I think the last time we saw Celtic do this, he actually leveled his Q when they went into the jungle. So, yeah, he didn't level his Q there. I believe if they leveled it, he leveled his Q, they could have actually had a kill there. Because, I mean, Balthazar could have leveled W. So, yeah, it would have hurt his jungle a little bit, but it definitely would have been first blood. And slowing down a Legionnaire is a great thing you can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't go for it in the end, and he will get that jungle. Obviously, the pole camp is blocked here, but everything else going to be good here. The Andromeda will get their own water site down at this bottom rune area. So the lanes end up a little, yeah, so they do have Swiftblade go middle, and then Riptide is going to be in that short lane. Again, a little interesting being Riptide now. With how Riptide works now, his idea of laning elsewhere is definitely a lot more relevant. Being able to put that puddle down and work with it, so. But yeah, before Riptide, you pretty much had to run a middle.
Yeah, and now this can go wherever he wants, really. If they can, it doesn't hurt to put him anywhere. But yeah, he did go mid and put his puddle, so that's why I was wondering if Action was actually going to stay mid. But no, he's going to stay bottom. And they do have kill potential on this Magnus.
You see Serenia here dropping the Water Revelation again. It's definitely some mind games coming out. Trying to act like perhaps he's placed it, if anything, but not the case here. Magnus is continuing to avoid as long as possible while still leeching experience. Good job with the disjoint of the Steam Bath. But yeah, back to the middle lane. Swiftblade, obviously he is being locked down a bit, but at least able to leech some kind of experience. I mean, the lanes this time around for BMG on the Hellborn side, obviously a little more straightforward here, unlike the last game, and that's the good news for them. I do want to see if Deadlift is going to get involved here sooner or later. In fact, he doesn't even have Death Grip yet. He has level 2 of his E and nothing else. I assume he's just sitting on it, waiting to use that point, but he doesn't have it yet.
Yeah, I guess he's just, maybe if he feels that he can go push a tower early, maybe mid lane or something. Just not level it, but he's choosing to max the E.
Andromeda, oh, gonna be fine there. Stalagmites nearly hitting him, but manages to escape. I don't know if they would have really dove that or not, but trying to see if he can perhaps land it. Behemoth harassed by the Doctor at the top lane. Doesn't have any more regen currently on him. Dr. Pulsar, of course, aware of that. So Balthazar taking any auto attacks he can get here. Currently 16-7 here at this top lane. You compare that to the bottom lane of Riptide at 19-12. So, again, Haxerin doing a lot of work down here, denying and last hitting as much as he can. So, Magnus does manage to be level 3, though. In fact, as we saw here and do see now, Andromeda has made his way to the middle lane. Kind of abandoning it as a support here for Riptide. Do you like this choice here to send Andro middle instead?
Yeah, I guess they really do want to get farm with this Swiftblade, and if that is the case, then yeah, it's definitely the right decision. Riptide should be relatively fine against a Magnus 1v1, so I would have liked to see Andro give him a Rev Ward for this Magnus, though. but chose not to. So maybe he comes back down there with a rev ward.
He had a rev ward earlier. I wonder where it went, actually.
I think he placed it to count. Oh no, that's slaps. Oh no, okay, yeah, I think he did
That
place the one.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did counter. Okay. That makes sense there. 4 minutes in, the 4-minute rune Swiftblade actually picks it up right here. No bottle just yet, but we'll straight up pick up the invis and see about making a play possibly. If Rhapsody gets a little out of position, they could jump, but obviously the Hellborn team pretty smart themselves, not going to get out of position, not seeing Swiftblade currently on the map. He's going to go to the top lane, though, so Swiftblade using this invis rune to come all the way to the top lane. Going to try to get Doctor, especially before he hits level 6. But as we see, I don't know if Doctor is going to give him that chance, actually. As, yep, the middle lane, Andromeda eventually gone on. I'm guessing that was Death Grip.
Yeah, gripped him from the top of his, coming down towards the jungle, towards the mid lane. Gripped him at a tier 1 tower. There's Slap saying it, I mean, and then Box just ran at him. I don't think Slap has a right to flame that hero, though, because he has been playing it, so...
Yeah.
I don't think he has a right to actually flame that hero.
I do agree a bit. I was actually going to mention something like that myself. Like, I mean, yeah, when you do it to yourself, you kind of can't get frustrated when they do it to you. But looking out for his teammate right there. Riptide, bottom lane. He's trying to catch this Magmus, but I don't think he's going to. Yeah, he actually missed the initial attempt, and it's not the easiest thing to turn when you miss initially like that. Magmus able to avoid it in the end, so well played by him. Hackstrom will just go back to farming instead. I guess the biggest deal now. I think this is where you can argue the downside of running a middle lane. Or Pebbles. Okay, it's fine. Running a short lane Riptide is the fact that his ganking isn't maybe going to be as relevant earlier in the game. He's probably going to want to farm, a bit more instead, so...
Yeah. Behemoth might be dead here. Oh, no mana on the deadlift, actually.
He has enough now.
He might try for this. Oh my god, he's gonna... He's going for it.
No.
Oh, he went the wrong way. Yeah. But as I was saying, yeah, I'm assuming he's gonna go the same items on Riptide that a mid Riptide would go, because I don't think there's too much variation on that hero. Oh, bot lane.
Magmus dropping a half-life. He does have his stun still. Andromeda is nearby. There's the undertow. But Magmus, he played that very patient. The last thing you want to do is panic, use your stun just to run away initially and eventually be chased down. So good job being patient there from Ake. And he actually is able to escape. So we remain a 1-0 hero kill game in favor of BMG. 7 minutes in now. So somewhat of a little more passive start here. I mean, Deadlift, he did get that Bloodlust kill. Hasn't been very active, though. Other than that Bloodlust kill he got, there hasn't been a whole lot of action coming out from him. I mean, of course, we saw over at the room at a Behemoth a little bit, but he really has been pretty content on just farming. I mean, we mentioned at level 3, he didn't even have his Deadlift or Death Grip yet. Granted, he was just sitting on the point, but he was farming with it, so... Another case of being a mix of Teletook, but also just Deadlift as a hero. What he goes for here.
Yeah, I'd like to see an Astro. I think that's not too bad here. Yeah, I think Astrolabe would probably be a pretty good decision. Maybe, full-on team support items. I think that's the way you should build that hero, because he doesn't offer... he doesn't offer a big AoE team fighting ability. He kind of just a walking tank. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think just building him as the team supporty build is just the way to go.
Yeah. Gets the plated Greaves. Makes sense, especially being that he has the minion army of his. A strong start there. Riptide back to the bottom lane as he was controlling the Invis room bottom. Bottles that up. But again, Riptide, yes, he's farming very well, but had not really had a whole lot of gank presence here this game yet. Goes back to him kind of being in the short lane instead. Legionnaire is farming pretty well. Slapped 1,000 gold saved up. The Strider's bottle purchased. So he is on his way to his portal key. Maybe that'll be the key to make something happening, of course. Swiftblade, not so good here in the middle. Only 190 gold per minute. But he has been at a bit of a disadvantage here in this middle lane. So yeah, Willie wondering when Riptide's going to start turning it on here. And speaking of that, Magnus is caught bottom lane. I guess Behemoth and Andromeda, not much Magnus could do right there.
Again, might try to kill Pebbles here as well. Yeah, they're going to go for Pebbles.
There's the Eye of the Storm. He didn't use it initially. Pebbles just kind of has to accept it. And decapitate to finish him off. So, yeah, good job. Just as we're talking about Riptide, you know, when are we going to start seeing his impact here? Well, gets a couple at the bottom lane.
This experience lead is gigantic. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is a lot of it's in part of the junglers, just Lego being such a better farmer compared to Deadlift. So, I mean, that's yeah, okay, they trade tier 1s at least. But yeah, just the experience lead alone is just, it's a decent amount for just being 2-to-1 hero kills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sync feeling pretty good about that. 2,500 experience lead. The gold will stay around the same as you mentioned in trading towers right there at least. Haxrin is going to go the Mighty Blade here. So, yeah, it looks like even despite being in the short lane, not necessarily changing up the style of build, what you would maybe normally see on a Riptide. Of more of that shrunken head, being able to sit in the fights and perhaps something like a Brutalizer eventually, but...
Yeah. I feel like in the short lane role, I might have preferred him to maybe get an Insanitarius or something. I feel like that would have been a little more impactful than... I'm assuming he's just going to rush the Brutalizer considering the circumstance of the game, but in that regard, I just would have much rather have seen him just go an Insanitarius and been that big auto attack threat, because he is really the only auto attack threat on the team right now.
Ooh, Death Grip right there. Tried to hit Riptide. Coming up just short, though. So Riptide going to be fine for the time being. There's that portal key on Legionnaire. Going to regen quickly. And then maybe a port somewhere to make a play with it, perhaps unlike this middle lane here. Swiftblade has taken over the bottom lane farm. He's got the Soul Scream Ring and the Energizer being worked on. Middle lane again, it seems like he could be having action here shortly. Legionnaire is coming back to it. You do have Andromeda here as well, level 6.
With his portal key as well. I don't know if you've noticed that on Legionnaire, but he's ready.
Yep. He's...
Oh, this could be a huge taunt if he... Oh.
It's like, do I go? Do I go? He'll just run up instead. Don't really know what that was about from Zlapt. And he's dead.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Even though it's nighttime, he should have seen them there. I mean, definitely when his Veiled Rot popped, he definitely should have seen it. So, I don't know.
I think he might have been trying to bait them a little bit, like trying to make them like, oh yeah, I'm here, chase me. But if that was a plan, obviously that itself, that's risky, and we see there why.
Yeah, didn't have the biggest team support behind him. I mean, they were mid lane, but they were pretty far away. And
yeah.
Pebbles is going to take these triples, and basically have his portal key afterwards. Taking a lot of damage, though.
Oh, wow. Yeah, getting very low right there, Rhapsody. She can't really tank much herself either. So Magnus is going to come in, though. Is he going to Eruption right here, or just going to stun, soften them up a little more, and try to allow Pebbles to get the majority of them, as it looks like he is. So getting that portal key, getting very close now. Oh, there we go. Now he has enough for it. So Boxy will be able to pick it up. But yeah, Riptide was also trying to gank Dr. Top lane during that too, using the Eye of the Storm going up there, but actually ended up getting outran. I mean, obviously Doctor, that's an advantage that he has. May not be able to stop Riptide, but can fly away if you're unable to catch him easily.
Yep.
So Riptide continuing to farm away at the middle lane. Yeah, going back to what you were saying earlier, it's almost like, you know, it's the fault that BMG had the first game. They definitely went a very all-in on their initiators, and the style of builds that they were doing was more of a we want to win this very early on kind of game, and that just didn't work. So now bottom lane, by the way, the taunt coming out. Pebbles going in, just not enough to kill Swiftblade. He eventually does, but now he's on the run. He tosses back Legionnaire and actually is going to escape. So it does, I mean, you could argue maybe a good exchange there for BMG.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what each hero is worth, I mean, it was a decent trade. Swiftblade going down there. I mean, the Magnus almost has portal key as it is anyway, so he actually, how much gold did he lose for 9? Actually, yeah, he had it before he died, so If he would have been fast enough to be able to buy it, could have had it there. So sucks a little bit in that regard, but yeah, I mean, killing Swiftblade is pretty crucial at this point.
Meanwhile, though, top tower, Baltazar hoping to push that in with deadlift, of course, using that onslaught here. And ends up getting that easy tower kill, and Baltazar is going the Nullstone once again. There are a lot of big single target abilities here, I guess, on the Hellborn or Legion side.
Yeah. Yeah, don't disagree with the pickup this game. I don't know how I feel about it first item, but mid lane.
There's a nice wall from Andromeda there on point. However, Deadlift still connects in the background on a Riptide. Protective Melody coming out from Rhapsody. Pebbles and Magnus, though, they sort of falling back really early right there. I guess they maybe just didn't see actually with the invis and actually Eye of the Storm as Doctor flies in, but it's still not enough. Down goes Riptide. You now have Legionnaire in the middle of it. And in the background, Swiftblade got up, but a shockwave from Behemoth trying to turn some things. Unfortunately, only gets the one. And now has to fall back from there. So the big picture, you see 3 heroes still up on the side of BMG, including that Doctor Repulsor. So again, Bad Monkey Gaming winning another fight right here. 3,500 gold advantage for them now.
Yeah, and Behemoth actually got 11 off that ultimate, and if he would have had it before then, I mean, that whole Hellborn team had below 200 HP, and that 75 extra damage plus whatever extra creep damage would have been there. That could have been 3 kills for him. So, I mean, it does suck that he wasn't 11, but yeah, I mean, at least he got a kill out of it, but they did lose 4 heroes, so well played there by BMG.
Yeah, apparently mid-war is not over just yet. Oh, he's trying to find him. Oh, couldn't find him in there. If they had a Rev 4, that's a kill, but it still might even be one. They even put a Rev 4 down here. You see Pebbles, he's like, I'm just going to go. Chucks him backwards. Here comes Doctor. Now Behemoth nearby as well as Andromeda. She's going to swap him out, tanking up a bit, but is going to be killed. Legionnaire, though, and Behemoth following suit. Behemoth does get caught by that Death Grip, though. The onslaught on him, and no chance for him to get away. So they do save the initial target, but they do lose 2 in the process as well, and this should probably also be a middle tower push now. Magnus lining up top here. He was seen, though, by the Ward of Sight. He kills it, but it doesn't look like the Legion team is going to try any kind of defense here. And it will just be giving up the tower instead. But Nullstone on to Doctor now. You got a Storm Spirit being worked on by Deadlift. And Soul's Bulwark should be just about finished here by Pebbles, it looks like.
Yeah, you know, like I said, he needs to be that team support hero, and the Storm Spirit's definitely good to save them from the initial burst. So definitely a good pickup. Thank you, Teltuk. Going the right items this game.
And spending on initial items too.
That's true.
Gotta respect that.
We're not pooling 5K gold this game.
Yeah. Well, good to see there for the team for sure. You see Pebbles. He's caught by Legionnaire. Do they have the follow-up? Oh, he chucks him off into his Ancients. He is going to die, though, in the end. But now Legionnaire was in a kind of a bad spot, so a good attempt there from Pebbles. But actually, Deadlift. He's trying to run away. Here comes Riptide now as well, so Sync needs to be careful not to overextend here. They're chasing really deep. They're protecting Melody from Rhapsody, saving Deadlift. And now potential for a turn for sure. Legionnaire going to be one of those, at least. Andromeda swaps in. Legionnaire does follow in the background. Eruption from Magnus also helping too. However, the shockwave from Behemoth doing a work there. That time it gets off a big one. The 4 are dead. I thought Sync was getting turned on big time until the shockwave came from Izibe there. And that's the one that he was looking for.
Yeah, that was a huge ulti. Caught 3 heroes and the creeps and just basically killed them all by himself. And, yeah, just a big fight for them. And, I mean, it looked pretty grim there when that Rhapsody got that big ulti off, but big turn there by Zibe.
That clutch timing right there. And, yeah, talk about looking grim for Sync. It's a strong finish for them at least after a bit of a chase right there. That would have really backfired big time for them, but they are successful in the end. Shrunken Head picked up now at Riptide. You do see Swiftblade. Is that really all he has? I guess so, yeah. He's only 260 gold per minute. He does buy, okay, he has a Quick Blade at least too, but yeah, he still is working a bit. I mean, it is only 18 and a half minutes in. So I guess not too crazy here, but And wanted to really start building up the Swift play because he is going to be that late game carry presence, of course, for Sync Esports right here. Baltazar, though, he's working towards now that Hellflower middle lane. Again, we got more action. Magma's stunning in. TPs are coming. Dr. Repulsor, he tried his best to follow it up as much as he could. Riptide, Eye of the Storm on the TP, and they get the quick kill on Rhapsody. Pebbles, in the meantime, trying to deal with this Riptide in the background. As now he's going back up, but again, another clutch swap from Serenia right here. Doctor is going to chase down Riptide, though, to finish him off, and Andromeda does go down after the swap. Swift play to half-life. Magma's thinking about chasing. 6 more seconds on the portal key. Will they be able to cut him off here? Oh, maybe. They're going to see him at the last second. Portal key stun? No, it's not in time.
He has ulti in 2 seconds. He wants to... Yeah, he's going to go for it. Oh.
Behemoth?
He wants to do it. Yeah, mid lane.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants to do it.
This is a go. It's a kill if he does it, I feel like, with those creeps
He's waiting
here.
for the creep wave.
Oh, those are his creeps. Yeah, what am I saying?
Yeah, he's going to
There
go
we
right
go.
here.
There we go! Oh, the patience from Zimmet. Yeah, I got so confused there. Good thing I'm not playing the Behemoth. I've been shockwaving on my own creeps. Well played by Zimmet. He's coming through here. I mean, that's now back-to-back fights.
He is the highest level on the team right now.
Wow,
I mean,
yeah.
He's making some really big plays. Credit to him. So definitely giving his team the chance to win this, even though they've had some sloppy-ish fights. But Zibbe really pulling it together this game.
Very clutch indeed. You do see the gravestones are here, but oh, the resurrection is on cooldown. I guess Teltuk did use it earlier. It's so hard with all that going on to actually see if and when he's using it. But top lane, Doctor picks off Zibbe, and that's pretty important because he's even level 15 now with that death. But then also it's a nice streak stop, 500 gold bonus for Baltazar here. On top of that, so important kill definitely coming out for him. And the Hellflower is actually going to be finished here shortly now as a result of that kill there.
He's 530 GPM. I haven't even noticed that, but
Yeah.
doing extremely well here for the BMG team.
One side chasing, BMG looking to catch, but Sync doing a good job of getting out of there, knowing that they're down in numbers, and clearly without Behemoth, they're not comfortable taking fights. Again, he's been kind of the MVP status here these last couple of fights especially. So they need to make sure to have him in him. That Arcana, I really want to see spell shards, man. Just even amp this early level damage that he has here. But I think he's actually going to get Resto Stone, which is also, of course, great. But could you see spell shards, or would it be 2?
On the Behemoth?
On the Behemoth, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do it in TMM, but it's actually good. I mean, I'm seeing, well, they have 1 Mystic Vestment, so. But anyway, I mean, it's still enhanced damage. Like, it's still a good amount of enhanced damage, so. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I'm assuming that's going to be a Resto Stone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've seen spell shards before, but yeah, it seems like Resto Stone is kind of a little more the flavor. Maybe figures with this early farm. I guess he really isn't going to a crazy amount of farm. And, well, 317 for a Behemoth is solid, especially for a Suicide Behemoth for that matter. So, yeah, maybe. Yeah, the Resto Stone, again, is going to feel good about getting that here. Pebbles, he's once again going to try to look around, but speaking of not necessarily taking off, Pebbles 4-3 and 4, but he is 400 gold per minute, so from that perspective, obviously, he's done pretty well. The Hellborn team controlling the Congo bit. Oh, look at that. He does go spell shards. So Zippy agrees.
Yeah, it's going to be a big damage increase in a team fight, so it's definitely not a bad pickup. Like I said, I do it myself, so I mean, this could be where it proves to be the strongest. I mean, in a Kongor fight with deadlift creeps, this could be pretty big. Do they have vision on this, though? They have a ward there by Serenia. They might have seen it, but they're not moving at all towards it.
Yeah, they're not making any kind of movement towards it. This is already a Half-Life Kongor. Okay, they're kind of going over now. You see Andromeda obviously being careful. She's not going to just dive in here by any means. So yeah, I think they definitely know by now. It's just a matter of are they going to get here in time. I think Congo's going to die, though. Oh, Swift play running in. Here we go. They got there a little too late, but they're committed right now. This is a big deal. They jump in the background on a Pebbles, protect the Melody. It is going to be stopped immediately. Swift flashes. as down he goes. Eruption on top, however. Swiftblade is going to be killed right here. Behemoth is still sitting in the background waiting for the prime chance. He might find one coming up here. Magnus is going to fall to Riptide. Dr. Repulsor, though, coming back into the fight. He did use a... No, that's not a buyback. That's Fuse of that bot back, actually. And Andromeda goes down. Behemoth, it is just him, and he actually is out of there.
So, there's the power of Deadlift. He was looking at the other heroes and got Deadlift rooted and just ultied the ground.
Did he?
Yeah, it's just... Yeah,
oh.
He wasn't looking at his hero and just thought he portal keyed in and ulted the ground and hit nothing with it, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's Deadlift just being that annoying hero that just stopped an entire B. It just pretty much won them that team fight. I mean, even with that token, B had a prime chance to ulti 3 or 4 heroes with Deadlift minions, so...
Yep.
Definitely rough.
I'm glad you caught that, because I was wondering why the hell we weren't seeing that big ultimate, because exactly, he had several chances, but that makes sense. Yeah, he ulted nothing, unfortunately, got caught, and... You know, see that before where you think you can portal key, something deactivates it the split second before you try, and all of a sudden you shockwave nothing. So, I mean, I do got the replay right here. Maybe we can catch it on there too, but it seems like they are kind of retreating for now after that fight here. But, yeah, we do see, again, the toss from Pebbles as well was pretty fun there. Dr. Pulsar flying around, staying alive the whole time, and, yeah, you saw at the corner of the screen there, Behemoth. He fissured, tried to go in, and got stopped by it. So... and as we've seen now, I mean, it's Behemoth. Like, Behemoth is the control of this game. If he's able to get in a big ulti, Sync will win these fights. If he's not able to, as we saw there, they're not going to. So it's just continuing to go back to needing those big ultis from him, and he's come through a couple of times, and, you know, all the credit for it for sure, but, you know, you can only rely on that for so many. You see Swiftblade in the front lines trying to pressure them off. Pebbles says he's going to go. He catches Riptide, chucks him in. Now Rhapsody going to feel it. There's a shockwave. Not the biggest one, though. Really only killed Rhapsody, but the damage follow-up is enough. Pebbles goes down. You do see the follow-up on a Dr. Pulse right now. Now, there's a res onto somebody. Okay, Pebbles is actually going to be resed right here. He comes back up, and that's going to do a lot of work here. Double tap for Balthazar, and the chase continues on the Legionnaire now. Oh, the chuck was a little awkward, so I guess not going to get further. But, yeah, the resurrection actually working out pretty well there.
Yeah, I mean, proving the strength there of that Deadlift ulti. I mean, Pebbles didn't do the most when he respawned, but it's still the fact that now he's alive and pushing base. So, I mean, Doctor didn't even lose token there. So, it looked like a really good fight there for Sync, but that Magnus ulti with killing the Behemoth did a lot of work there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, that shockwave really only, it hit multiple heroes, but it was on top of Rhapsody. It killed here, and not the big epic one that they were hoping for. Again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying Zibby's doing a poor job. He's if anything the reason why Sync is in this game still, with a couple of big ultis he's had early in this game. But unfortunately, he hasn't been able to land those big ones here throughout. And it's right now the lead is starting to get to a point of BMG feeling really comfortable. That Dr. Repulsor, the sheep stick on top of the Hellflower. So he's got a double lockdown to work with now on top of the Null Stone that, of course, he has originally. 623 gold per minute on him right here. That's a lot to work with.
With a full-on sheep stick, so this is going to be interesting. Oh, Demonic also finished on Pebble, so another big item to have.
That coming out too. Yeah, Abyssal Skull and Magnus, but 1-1 on the team, and figures he'll get it. A little curious in on him rather than a Deadlift, to be honest, but at least they got one on their team as they're going towards top lane. How about Haxer in 2, by the way, on Riptide? We mentioned how he went Shrunken Head first and found that a little interesting. He actually does eventually go to Insanitarius, but again, it's kind of after the fact of, I mean, it's still good to have, but he did it almost in an opposite order where the Insanitarius, it's, you know, he wasn't able to have that enhanced earlier on damage. They maybe would have liked with that.
I mean, I feel like he could have been a little bit more active with an Insanitarius and even ganked, I mean, and then sacrificed bottom lane to Swiftblade, but yeah, not a big fan how they,
he's going to lead the way here. Deadlift does get picked off right off the bat, so no resurrection for them if they wanted to. However, he bought back, never mind, and he may be doing it if they're not careful, but Magma's the only one currently still dead. Or yeah, no, he is dead for 60 more seconds. They're going to catch Riptide, swap out from Andromeda. Melody is going to be stopped by Behemoth, though. He did use the Shockwave already. However, he's going to have to try to fall back, but the chuck from Pebbles kills his teammate as well as puts him now in a bad spot. But you can tell the Dr. Repulsor is not overextending right here. He's playing this pretty safe. As I say that, he kind of goes in. Oh, he's going to have to get taunted by Legionnaire. Yes, he will go down, actually. But the resurrection going off. Can they res him in time? No, they kill the gravestone. That was the plan. Deadlift was trying to res him right there, but good job. Good heads up by Haxerin to kill the gravestone mid-fight and save what could have been a brutal, brutal finish in favor of BMG.
Yeah, I mean, the gold lead is huge, but this experience lead is very small. So, I mean, they could still win this game. It's just, and I'm not really sure what, how big the bonk was from the Behemoth, but must have done a little bit because a lot of damage was taken.
Yeah, I didn't catch the ulti that fight either, as far as how impactful it truly was. But you know, again, they do enough to hold it at the top lane. The melee Rax is exposed, but you do see even a little bit of damage already happening onto it. So Sync is now having to be on the mindset of constantly paying attention to that, of course. As the other thing too, though, goes back to, again, this team hasn't necessarily been, again, sure, Swiftblade is a hard carry of sorts, but that's only really if you play him in that role. And they didn't. They played him in more of the middle. He was locked down early. He's only 250 gold per minute right now. You know, he has Energizer and Firebrand, so don't expect him to be a hard carry here. Same thing for Riptide, with the hero that they ran in the short lane. You know, went a very passive Shrunken Head first, or more team fight potential, and now he's in Sanitarius, and now he's maybe going for something like that Brutalizer, but again, he's not going to be a hard carry presence, so it's just a lot of that is what Sync is falling back on. Is the potential just doesn't seem like it might not be there for them, unfortunately. And Dr. Repulsor, he's actually going to be finishing a Shrunken Head himself here, it looks like, as that's what he's going for.
Going fourth item Shrunken, he didn't need to go it until now, so good that he was able to get 3 mana items, and now I'll get the Shrunken, so.
Bottom lane. Oh, just the Rhapsody down here. That's not, they might have been trying to set up a gank, but Rhapsody not doing that by herself. Granted, has Pebbles nearby. Pebbles with that demonic breastplate. Actually, I want to say Pebbles, did he buy back or something? No? Wow, Teltic has bought back twice already.
Wow.
Just noticed that
bought
too.
Back the rest, maybe, yeah.
Huh. So yeah, he's bought back twice, doesn't have any more himself. Does have 2,100 gold saved up here. We'll see what gets from that. Yeah, again, interesting thing about Deadlift, the fact of him taking over all these minions, again, he can't necessarily 100% control what he gets, but you know, when he has things like these Wolf Commanders, these Aura minions, they actually do work. So you see right here how he has a Minotaur as well as a Wolf Commander, so he's got a couple of Auras to benefit him and his team. And maybe that's, I don't want to say like an overlooked thing necessarily, because you know, maybe not overlooking it, but it's an interesting thing alongside of the hero.
Yeah,
Kind of
you
like
can get the attack speed. There's a couple things you can get from it. So I mean, if he has it for a team fight, I mean, it can't hurt. It physically can't hurt. So yeah, it's not too bad. I was actually wondering if he gets a pustula or something. Does the pustula explode when it dies? I don't think so. I don't think it does. No. Because I guess it's just the auras that it gives. So yeah. Like I said, I've never played Deadlift because I'm not that guy. So I don't actually know. Maybe we can get Zlapt on here. Maybe he can let us know.
Yeah, I think like you said, it's none of the activatables or anything. So things like stomps and all that, like none of it can work. So yeah, I would safely assume that pistolas will not actually explode when they are killed under his control. But yeah, again, the auras do work. That we know. So Andromeda going to be hit by Deadlift here, but more so kind of just scouting with it. Seeing who's nearby, kind of resetting currently. One of the Shrunken Head, I'm sure, on Dr. Repulsor before BMG maybe makes a look to go full force here. Try to really break into the base here, but Sync, on the other hand, is grinding away bit by bit. But again, what they're working towards, it's a little unclear. Sure, they're obviously farming to stay alive in the game right now, and of course that makes sense, but it's still a lot of work for Massera here on the Swiftblade before he is going to be any bit of a threat. Now he does get the Frostburn, so again he's working towards it.
Wanting to see if Legion tries to force a fight here. I think they did see it with this ward from Serenia, them walk into the pit, so this could be their last stand. Yeah, Lego just got his...
Oh, he is going to jump on a deadlift off to the side, protecting Melody, though. A lot of damage and stops right there. It is eventually canceled, but it already did its job. Meanwhile, in the background, Maka comes in with the eruption. Behemoth Shockwave, again, I don't think it did anything. I think he got stopped trying to portal key just like before. Doctor finishes him off. Andromeda's going to go down. They did lose deadlift and Rhapsody, but they clean up for a genocide, and they'll now go back to just finish off Conqueror, but Sync says, you know what, you can have it. GG, well played. Game 2 will go to BMG here, and another split as a result coming at us. So both these teams earning that 1 point here between Sync and Bad Monkey Gaming. So congratulations for BMG, though, winning the second game here to make that happen. But your final thoughts on Game 2 here, Rigrosta?
Yeah, I mean, just a good game. I'm actually a little worried for Sync here because I think, I'm not sure, but is there a way they could actually not make top 4 if they either lose or split next series? Because if that's the case, then this could be a very important last game they have to play.
I mean, yeah, I'm updating it right now. They're definitely not guaranteed by any means for top 4, but yeah, it obviously also depends how the other series are playing out here. So let me finish updating this one first real quickly of what we got. That was the final game, by the way, for BMG. So that puts them at 3-3-1 record, or 12 points total for them. So looking at it right now, I mean, they're currently in second place as Bad Monkey Gaming. And with that, you would think they're fairly comfortable as far as having a good chance of moving on. But right behind them are Fresh and now Sync Esports, both with those 10 points. However, Fresh... Now, it also kind of determines what happened with Fresh here. Fresh, they are in Game 2 against 2-0. Looks like they're ahead in that one, but still possibly a fair amount of game left there. Let's take a look at that Game 1 real quickly to see how that one looked. Did 2-0 win that? Yeah, 2-0 did win the first game over Fresh, and they did it with an Amun-Ra again.
Oh, wow. 705 GPM.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, they're making the hero work, and it's catching teams off guard a little bit. So
yeah. So well, currently that means, though, I mean, if Fresh only gets the 1 point now, they would, be 1 point ahead of Sync. But, with that said, if 2-0 goes 2-0 against Fresh, they would then have 10 points with Fresh and with Sync Esports. So there would be a three-way tie for ultimately third and fourth place. And, then you have a case of Fresh. I believe that. So that is 2-0's last series. Fresh would have one more, and so does Sync here. So it really is coming down to the end as expected as far as – so, yeah, the point is nothing is absolutely guaranteed yet right here. So that's what we have currently. What about the other series? Evil Corporation versus Nightmare Knights. Are they also playing still? It looks like
they're
it.
in Game 2.
Okay, they're in Game 2 as well. What we should do here, let's look to jump into another series. Which one should we jump into? Usually we only have one to choose from.
That's true.
Fresh versus 2-0. Yeah, this one's pretty close, too.
I'm looking at both of them. Yeah, the fresh one might be pretty good.
Yeah, let's go to that one. Let's go to Fresh versus 2-0 here instead. So let me update the in-game image here when I get the chance. I believe. What do we got for the sides? So it's going to be Fresh on the Hellborn, 2-0 on the Legion. Oh, Conqueror slaying right as we join. How about that? All right, so it's 1-0 for Team 2-0 right here. Okay, so jumping into this game now. Graphics should be good here. We got, looks like Conger was just slain by Fresh, so they do got a token on their Clanks. Probusk on that Clanks, nearly 500 gold per minute. There is a very farmed Wild still, though, on the other side. Nearly 500 gold per minute himself. Squirry playing it here. They also have a Cersei. Interesting. Despite no Sand Wraith or anything like that on the Hellborn team.
Yeah.
Support option.
Trying to figure out why they... Yeah, just not the common support you see when there's no Sand Wraith on the other team.
Well, they got it here for... And, you know, the fact that he can ulti and make some turns happen, maybe something like that Behemoth. Ultimate him and then be able to get a counter shockwave and fissure stuns is definitely there. But yeah, when we see Cersei, we usually expect to see the Sand Wraith on the other side nowadays. Top lane, by the way, different guy. He is going to be in trouble right here, playing his signature Grinix hero. Unfortunately, gets caught here, though. All right, so what are we seeing here, Grosse?
Well, I'm seeing a Clanks versus a Wild Soul, and that's always a... I mean, heavily in favor of Clanks there just because of the extra magic damage he puts out. So, it just looks like both teams kind of drafted to what they wanted. And they both kind of have what they want, and there was a Frostwolf finish on the Wild Soul as well. So, I think a big clash is going to happen any second here, really.
Yeah, that Frostwolf Skull on Wild Soul. That's a big item to be coming here. Interesting going that, sitting on the Firebrand here, but doesn't want a Firebrand just simply for the... Oh no, he has a Frost Burn. Okay. That makes more sense.
Oh, he right-clicked the... What?
I might have did that for the sake of buying it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so he has a Frost Burn, but still, eventually could very likely make that Frost Skull at this point. Fun to see Grinix here, as, again, kind of a signature hero of different kind. We've seen that do pretty well for him in the past. Here he's 4-5-3, only 219 gold per minute, so it doesn't seem like this game has unfortunately been the best of games for him. In fact, even behind a Luna here as far as farm goes. Jeez. Main support of Luna has a tablet here already. Good news for them. Clanks, though, double damage rune coming to the top lane. He's going to get the last outer. Oh, no, there's still the bottom outer tower here, it looks like. At least destroys that one for now, though. You can tell 2-0 is pretty passive here in terms of wanting to pick a fight as they're flying around. Granted, Clanks does have that token for just under now another 2 minutes here. So keeping that in mind.
Yeah, they're going to try to get this tier 2 bottom.
It's full life currently, but that's going to change quickly, so... Will 2-0 try to defend this one? Oh, look what they're doing here. They're sending out an Illusion Wild Soul with Boo Boo right here. So that's a pretty interesting tactic. It's like, well, technically part of it's real, but...
Yeah, it kind of gives it away that the Illusion doesn't have Wild and the Bear does. So I have to keep that in mind when they try to do some play like that.
Oh, true. Yeah, I guess if they're really being observant, then yeah. Maybe fairly obvious, but... Yeah,
actually... It applies to all owned units. Oh, so if he uses it after, it actually will give it to them. Okay, I lied. So, yeah, I mean, if he would have used it afterwards, it should give it to his Illusion, so.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, the token, it's going to be wearing off in about 50 seconds, so they don't actually get the bottom outer tower. They end up falling back from there. So I think it's best not to commit towards taking it out. Bottom... jungle over here. We do see an initiation on a Parasite. Support is coming in from the side of Beam as part of that. And Fissure stuns in with the Shockwave. Magnus goes down. Cersei trying to take over Clanks, but it just wasn't going to happen. She dies way too fast. Oh, they also see more access over here, but I don't think they can stop it. Yeah, he gets away.
Down.
But a couple of good kills for them, and now they are going to push out this last shadow tower here. As we see them making their way over to it. There we go. And now the base is what remains. Again, Clanks, no more token on him. Does have enough, or just about enough, for that Wingbow purchase. A little surprised they're kind of going in before he has that finished. And no token here.
Yeah, they have nothing. I mean, they get jumped. I mean, I guess they're just being down the Magnus. They feel comfortable.
Oh, the stomp just missing. That was the start of an attempt, but just out of range, and will start to get back now. So Yeah, that was a chance for 2-0 almost. I mean, Shockwave is obviously down for Behemoth, so his counter wasn't as scary. Yeah, I really think that actually could have been something for them, but in the end, missing their jump, and Fresh will fall back from it. Does manage to stay alive here, so going to reset things and possibly wait for another Conqueror. Again, we're jumping into this one a little bit later on, so not 100% sure how many Conquerors we've had. We've had at least one. We know that. We just saw the token, but
I'm gonna assume that was the first one because both teams really don't have. Actually, that's not true. They have a wild soul. Okay, so that could, yeah. I'm gonna go with it as probably the second one that just got taken because Wild Soul probably took it relatively early into the game, probably like level 11 or 12, whatever it was.
yeah, could be possible. Also great for that, of course. On the Legion side, but still, could have happened. So we'll have to wait and see for the next Conger to confirm that or not. But obviously, no matter what, second, third, 10th, still good to do. Get that token alive. Hopefully, we'll never see a 10th Condor. It'd be a long game.
I mean, that would be how many? I mean, if they took it on the 0-minute mark, it's a pretty long game.
Yeah. Jump here. They found a Luna trying to counter ward in the background too. Behemoth also caught. Blanks does pop the Shrunken though. Doctor, a Pulsar just melts. Got in the midst of that. Eventually started falling. Wild Soul at half life. He does finally go ulti for him. And now Clank's on the ledge right here. Gets caught by Behemoth eventually. That's a Cersei Behemoth. That's why. Storm Spirit, though, going to save him, and Wild Soul goes down. So too much power. Despite taking over Behemoth, again, it isn't max damage. In fact, it's only level 1, so only doing 50 or 75%. Yeah, 70% of the damage. Point is, though, didn't matter. Genocide for Fresh, and they didn't even lose anyone, actually, in that fight. A 5-0 here for Fresh.
Yep, even with Cersei taking over the Behemoth, still didn't really get much out of it. And the buybacks right here.
Oh, red stun from Aluna, though. Buys just enough time to kill one before Parasite dies. Background, Dr. Pulsar. Seeing the buybacks here. He is already out of mana, though. Behemoth trying to chase, can't catch him. Instead, we'll throw the Storm Spirit on a Wild Soul. Unfortunately, Boo Boo still after him. TP's coming in, but the portal key, but another portal key. So Magnus does eventually catch the Behemoth, so they do, again, kind of hold here, but mentioning the buybacks being used. Doctor flying in, trying to get close enough to Luna. Unfortunately, just not enough mana. And Luna actually is going to escape, I'm guessing. Unless Magnus, oof, if he randomly stunned there, but nope.
I don't think that Q from Doctor might have actually given him vision, so didn't even attempt it, but yeah, I mean, I guess they held off their base, but I mean, that's 3 buybacks, so.
Yeah, so 2-0. Staying in the game, but now you have Clanks at Whispering Helm, and you know, we saw Imbo Boy doing his classic Clanks earlier against Sync Esports. Probusk is definitely next in line right here as far as another very comfortable Clanks player. And he's well on his way to that symbol now.
Really, next to Imbo Boy, he kind of is like the only, I want to say dedicated Clanks player. Oh, Grinix might get a solo kill here on Doctor.
I don't know if he has enough damage here. His items, again, he has an Energizer and a Mighty Blade, so yeah, it's going to be a little too weak, but he's kind of keeping them distracted and actually buying time for teammates to come in, including that Clanks. Look at Magnus right off the bat. He just about dies. Dr. Pulsar does eventually die. So yeah, maybe not getting a solo kill, but hey, he'll take the team kills as well. And now, again, grouping up, pushing bottom. Clanks did use a Shrunken there to make sure to kill Magnus, but they probably feel somewhat confident pushing. Now, Doctor does have his final buyback. So we'll see. Oh, again, Moraxis misses a stun. So I guess it's hard Behemoth. A big shockwave catches 2. Doctor flies into insta-death. And there we are. GG, well played. All right, so Fresh will take game 2. Another split series, man. We're having a lot of those here.
Yeah, very few actual 2-0s today.
Yeah. It goes back to just another, again, the evenness here.
Yeah.
In this time of division. All right, so a split there. Update here now again. So that is the last match for... No, Fresh still has another one. That was last match for 2-0 here. 2-0 will finish... what were they before? They were 2-1-3. So they're going to finish 2-2-3. They finished with 8 points. So 2-0 is mathematically eliminated from a top 3. If they went 2-0 here, then actually they would have had a chance. Top 4, that is, but they are going to end up short with 8 points. They, however, should be good for at least a 5th, 6th place finish, so won't have to play relegation, which is at least somewhat good news. As far as Fresh goes, they went 3. Wait, was that their? They won. Oh, they're going to put 1. So yeah, they're 3-2-1 now, which does put them at 11 points here. Math is correct. Yeah, 11 points. Okay. Is there other series still happening too? Jeez. ECX
21
versus Nightmare Knights. Oh,
Oh, it looks.
that's a
Oh,
mistake.
I think it's still going on.
That was a mistake.
For me, it is.
Yeah, I accidentally hit Mentor instead of
Oh.
Monitor.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. It looks like ECX might be pulling away.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
Imbo Boy is 13-4.
All right, well, we can jump into it real quickly, but yeah, that
Yeah,
might
let's
be
do
pulling
it.
away here. Our final series that we're planning to cast, though, is going to be Fresh versus Complexity, and that one is going to be setting up right now. So I obviously want to catch that here instead too. So just kind of checking in this one real quickly
The faster I can get to them.
to see where we're at here. All right, so Nightmare Knights. Wait, did we check that? Did Nightmare Knights take the first game? Or and I think they're up. I haven't checked it yet.
I can go check right now.
This is game 2 now. We do have a fight breaking out here in the middle lane. Well, Predator's in here. Predator of all heroes joining the party. He comes in, gets 1 kill. You see Magma still stunning in the background. Meanwhile, Embry getting multiple kills here on Riptide. So they did kill the Sand Wraith off the bat, but now Predator, he's going to be pretty heavily kited. Oh, no, the Brutalizer proc helps with that. It's him and Midas. All right, trying to chase now. Predator, he is going to leap in on the Tempest, but the heal from Prophet comes through. And Predator will go down, actually. Double tap for Nier, and now Midas. Tempest barely alive here. Ends up staying alive throughout it. That was an interesting fight to jump into, but it does look like ECX is, again, just about even at a point of it could be over anyways.
Yeah, and they did win game 1 as well, so.
ECX did?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. Okay.
So this would be a 2-0 for them, and yeah, if they do win this game.
And that is pretty important for them because a 2-0 here does absolutely guarantee that they will not be bottom 2. So they're not top 4. That's not going to happen. They will not be bottom 2, though. It looks like Nightmare Knights and Mystery Gang are going to be your bottom 2 teams as long as this result right here holds. Even if it doesn't, I still think that might be the case, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like ECX is doing the complexity thing of last cycle, where they just want to miss the playoffs for 1 cycle.
They want to take a break here. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of Han, in all honesty. So,
it is.
and I mean, it did wonders for complexity. I mean, they're doing great right now. So,
True.
it could be the same thing for ECX when they come back next cycle.
All right, so we're going to hop out of this one because we're going to go on a short break right here. We're going to set up for our next series now of Complexity versus Fresh. So that's going to be our final series, and I did update the standings here, so let me pull that up real quickly. Again, I'm going off that result holding right there. Yes, it officially 100% wasn't over, but ECX, to say the least, they had an amazing lead. That game, ultimately, from me looking at it more, it actually doesn't have a lot of influence in terms of how things could shape up anymore. So, no point to kind of sit there, casting the rest of it anyway. So, as we see here, Evil Corporation, they will finish with 9 points. Again, just out of a top 4 finish, but they will be in that 5th, 6th place spot. Mystery King and Nightmare Knights will be your relegation teams. It will be 2-0 in Evil Corporation as the 5th, 6th. So we do have our top 4 officially. We do know that finally. It is going to be Sync Esports, Complexity, BMG, and Fresh. And it's kind of funny how it worked out because you got 10, 11, 12, and 13 points on those teams right here, actually. So that's a, well, you know what's even, it's actually 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Just realizing that.
Wow.
Anyways.